face my face.
Hello, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Hi there.
What's that?
Don't mind all this.
Located downstairs, situated at the back of the boat near where you entered. For the comfort of all our guests, we ask that you refrain from smoking on this cruise. If you have a mobile phone, please switch it to silent now. Before we depart, please listen carefully to the following short safety announcement. This boat is licensed to carry 249 passengers. We maintain constant contact with Thames Navigation Service and the River Police at all times. This boat is fully equipped with a full complement of life jackets and life rafts. The life jackets are stowed underneath the fixed seating in the lower level and in the locker on the upper deck, clearly marked with green signs. All exits are clearly marked. From the lower saloon, there are doors at both sides of the vessel, or you can exit through the sliding window.
Don't worry, I have you covered. People on the top deck, look behind you. You will see me. Hello everyone, my name is AJ. You might have seen here, you are more than welcome. However, there are some rules you must obey. You must stay seated throughout this whole cruise, because if you look behind you, you will see our captain. You stand up, he can't see. Titanic ×2. Not in the mood to get wet today. This is a non-smoking vessel, so please no smoking and no vaping for you cool hipsters. Yes, we know you exist. The most important rule though is we encourage as much bridge vaping as possible, as it's the only time you get a 5-finger wave back instead of 1. You do this on the tube, you look mental. So get out of your systems now. See, they love it. We also give out any bar downstairs, drinks or snacks. Please make your way downstairs at any point. But as soon as you come upstairs, please sit down as quickly as possible. Are you guys excited for the cruise? The Houses of Parliament. But did you guys know that this is actually a palace? Yes, it's New Westminster Palace. New was an old one back in 1834 because our politicians back in the day were very silly billies. Nothing has changed. We used to tally everything in wooden blocks, and inside the palace was a huge furnace. One day the politicians came in and went, oh, we have so many wooden blocks, should we burn them? Which they did, naughty fire and wood does not match, and the whole thing burned down. The only part, naughty people stayed in there like guys walks around. You were left in there for a couple of days, and a black boat will come and collect you. You do the walk of shame down those stairs, and they'll take you to the Tower of London, where you'll be killed. We're doing the same journey today, so if you annoy me, you know exactly what your fate is going to be. Test me. If you look on your left, you can see these 3 exact same buildings. These used to be the old hospitals of London. There used to be one for each day of the week, but during the Blitz, the majority of these buildings got bombed. We're now left with the Friday, Saturday and Sunday wing, the 2 party days and the day of rest. These are now very high-end universities. If you go there, you are very smart, because you leave there with the highest qualification of nursing in the world, called the Nightingale Award, which all the doctors and nurses and St. Thomas's, they have that qualification, making it the leading school for nursing in the world. So quite a bougie hospital. But look on your left now, you will see the Grand Houses of Parliament. It has 3 towers, the largest one with the Union flag at the top. Yes, that is not a Union Jack. It's only a Union Jack when it's flying up off the water on a ship. When this flag is on land, this is a Union flag. Funny how many Brits don't know their own facts about their flag. But this is the Victoria Tower, and we must keep very important documentation in there for 1 year. So like voting papers, legislation papers, and so on. The central tower has a really fun name of the Central Tower. Yes, this is pretty much a chimney. So whenever they burn anything important inside of the House of Parliament, it will be burnt in there. So whenever... Cool. But put your hands in the air if you can see Big Ben. Point to Big Ben if you can see it. If you are pointing, you must have superpowers because nobody can see Big Ben. Yeah, why? Big Ben is a 13.5 ton bell inside of the clock tower. Yes, that's all we can see is the clock tower, or recently named the Elizabeth Tower. The reason why the bell has that name of Big Ben is because the guy that made it, his name was Benjamin Hall. He was a very tall guy of 7 foot and quite a large guy because he loved his pies. He was a really mean person, used to beat them up and not pay them, so people looked at him, looked at the bell, and the name Big Ben was formed. Thank God his name was not Big Richard, because how awkward would that be? It's a family cruise, so I can't explain that joke whatsoever. Major works had to be done on the clock tower because that tower you see in front of you was falling over to the left. Yes, it was actually falling over. And there was around 70 years of rust on the bell because no human thought it'd be a good idea to clean the bell. Oh, well done us. We felt really bad for the workers as we're always working around the clock. These jokes are not going to get any better. Laugh with me or sit there in silence. But let's talk about the reason I get paid here in London. Yes, just take a seat at all times on the top section. Hello, my love. Taking a selfie. Sit down for me. Sit down. Yes, it's the lastminute.com London Eye on your right, the world's largest cantilevered observation wheel. Cantilevered is a very fancy way of saying that it's held on only one side. Ooh. The London Eye was part of the competition to celebrate the millennium. But can you believe the London Eye did not win? We came second. But British Airways loved the idea so much they gave us £75 million to build it. Yes, that wheel is £75 million. But do not worry, we made that money back in the first 2 years of being opened. Was meant to be only opened for 5 years. But because it was making so much goddamn moolah, we decided to keep it open and it turned 22 last weekend. I feel old. We do not use the F word on this cruise. This is not a Ferris wheel. This is an observation wheel because the pods on the outside give you a 360 view of London. 32 of the pods, one pod represents each borough of London. There are now multiple eyes around the world. Yes, they all took from the original of the London Eye. So there's one now in Dubai, Las Vegas, Shanghai. But ours is still the world's largest cantilevered and still the #1 original in the world. So yes, if you're going to come to the original one, this is your baby. Major works get done every single year at the beginning to have its yearly maintenance of 2 weeks in January, which is quite cool to make sure it's always safe and it's never broken down. So there we go, it's a very strong piece of machinery. But if you're looking at the bridges in front of you and you're going like, wow, these bridges are just like the London Eye, it's because yes, these were built 2 years later to match the aesthetic of the London Eye, as the London Eye was very modern architecture in the medieval city of Londinium. These are golden jubilee foot bridges. If you'd like to wave at anyone, please make sure you do a royal wave and you say Wagwan, thank you for being here today. Wagwan. There was a delay opening this bridge as they found an undetonated World War II bomb under here, but they left it there and hoped for the best. True story. And somewhere to have your din-dins, which we still do today. But nowadays, very high-class dinner on that side, because you will find the fête à manger and the wagamamas. High-class dinner. But that whole side is known as South Bank. South Bank is home to the arts and the culture. So anything artsy-fartsy will be found over there. It's also the first place in the entire world to have its very first skateboarding park. Yes, people thought it was America, but no, it was England in 1953. So sorry America, we are better than you. But ladies, this bridge in front of you, this is your bridge. Can I get a whoop whoop? Only 2 ladies on board. So this was built during the Second World War, so all the men were off fighting, and 90 to 95% of the workforce on this bridge were all female. It's the only bridge in the entire Thames that was built on time and super duper under budget. It's also known as the Magic Bridge because it's made out of Portland stone and it self-cleans itself. Yes, the same stone that you'll find at our history museum. So well done, ladies, you have the smartest bridge on the Thames. But men, do not worry, we have our own bridge. It's 5 years late and £20 million over budget. Once again, that sounds about right. Look on your right to see this lovely building here with the electronic screen. This is National Theatre. This is a brutalesque building, meaning it's meant to look that ugly. Like Prince Charles said, it looks like the back end of a power station, and I totally #agree. But inside there, you'll find 3 beautiful theatres. You can see shows in there for only £15, making one of the cheapest places in London to see live theatre. ITV Studios. Wow. ITV, second largest broadcasting channel in the United Kingdom. And they give you very educational documentaries, yes they do, like Love Island, I'm a Celebrity to Get Me Out Here, Britain's Got Talent, and Only Way is Essex. Very high-class documentaries here in the United Kingdom. And next to that building, you'll see a very small white hut with blacked-out windows. This is where they film Good Morning with Philip and Holly with a live camera feed all over Thames. So every morning, me and my colleagues are waving trying to get some TV time. However, they currently just moved to the old BBC studios in White City because those studios there are too old-fashioned and they're about to knock them down. So the original ITV studios will be no more, which is quite sad, but it's always time for new and impressive things. You can also see on your right London's 5-star beach resort, Tunis, Barbados, and you've got that Costa de la Thames, very, very popular in the summer. Also on your right, you've got this lovely red building with the white stripes in the tower. That's a circle, a cross, and a circle. If you think that tower says OXO, once again, you are wrong. To this day of 2022, this is just called the tower. Yes, the circle, cross, and circle are just shapes. This used to be owned by the OXO meat packing factory. But back in the 1930s, advertising down the River Thames was very much illegal because the king at the time found it absolutely disgusting seeing any sort of advertisement. So when the government saw that they clearly put a tower with their logo, they obviously got taken to court. Had a really silly judge with a very smart lawyer, and the lawyer legit said this: no, it was an accident, yeah. We ordered the 3 mosaic shapes with a circle across the circle, and accidentally the top red and the company colours at night. It was a quinky dinky, we had no idea. And the judge actually believed that story and they got away with it. So till this day, that does not say OXO. Interesting. Lovely view of St. Paul's Cathedral on your left. I do recommend getting your cameras up for a little photo there because that'll be the clearest view that you will see. But let's talk about London's newest skyscraper, this one on your right, the weird hump on the side. Nicknames are the Baby Bump, the Boomerang, the Cocktail Shaker, and my personal favourite, the Kim Kardashian. Can you see it? I can see it. These are luxury apartments. If you'd like to live up there, go for it. It's £14.5 million and you can't open a window. Yes, the only way to get fresh air is through those weird ventilation shafts by each panel of glass. They built this because apparently there is a lack of affordable housing. I don't know what £14.5 million means affordable, but there you go. If you have that kind of money, hi, I'm AJ, I'm single, I'm ready to mingle, family after the cruise, you can be best friends. Thank you very much. We're now going underneath 2.5 Blackfriars bridges. Yes, crazy statement, but it's true. Called Blackfriars because the left-hand side used to be a massive monastery that where the monks wear, or the friars wore black. Hence, Blackfriars. Look left and look right. What are these strange columns? Why are they there? Cola, or the London's version of the stone. Have a think. I'm not going to tell you So there you go, just have a think about it. If you look on your left, you'll see the second largest dome cathedral in the world, St. Paul's Cathedral, 365 feet tall, 1 foot for each day of the year. Because Chris Loren, that guy that made St. Paul's, believed that religion is for every day and not just for Christmas. At the top of St. Paul's, you can see there is a cross, but originally he wanted a shiny golden pineapple. Why a fruit? I will tell you. A pineapple back in the 1700s was a fruit of the super wealthy. One pineapple back in those days would have cost you around £6,000 each, and you did not even eat it. It was just there to make it look rich and expensive. It got declined because they wanted to show you that London was religious, hence the cross. But look on the left-hand side of St. Paul's Cathedral. You will see twin towers with golden orbs on the top. Yes, those are not orbs, those are pineapples. Yes, he secretly put the pineapples up there as he wants to show that London is very exclusive and very prestigious to be in. This is our latest St. Paul's Cathedral, as the old one burnt down after the Great Fire of London of 1666, with the famous story of like metal going down the streets of London like magma, and pigeons falling from the sky cooked medium rare. But this building did get bombed during the First and Second World War, but us Londoners, we thought it made it more holy. Like I said, these jokes don't get any better. Sit there or laugh with me. But let's talk about my favourite building in the entire world. There's this one on your right. The world's, well, London's most only thatched roof building you will find here. Yes, you clever people, this is Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. Opened in 1997, so legit only yesterday. An American architect, he came to London to find a monument for the best playwright in the world, but found absolutely nothing. So he put it upon himself to make an authentic reproduction, and this was created. All the exact same materials and measurements were used to make this one. So right now, this whole building is being held up by wooden pegs, and we have no idea how it survived Hurricane Eunice. There we go. Fun fact of this building is that it's an open-air theatre, so there's a massive hole in the middle. So if you're going to watch a show and it starts to rain, you can't open an umbrella, you have to get wet. Yeah, but you can see a shows in there for only £5 because they represent the old penny ticklers. Yes, the poor people that couldn't afford shows, they sold a ticket for very, very, very cheap, a penny, and you had to stand in the middle and get wet. But our Shakespeare's Globe Theatre is older than the original. The original opened in 1599 and only lasted 14 years because an actor decided to blow a live cannon in a wooden and straw building. But hey, at least he went off with a bang. Funny. When we go underneath this lovely bridge, I want you guys to look to your right. So you see this lovely building covered in white material. This used to be the Financial Times headquarters. Yes, what a thrilling newspaper. But this is where Shakespeare's Globe used to be. If you don't believe me, go to the car park. There is a golden plaque that tells you. And that pub, you can see all the red windows and twinkly lights. That is where Shakespeare got changed with his actors. That pub has been there since 1615, making it one of London's oldest riverside taverns. It was a very bad place to be. You'd go there for bullfighting, and not ladies of the horizontal kind, but most important, pirates. If you don't believe me, there is a pirate ship on your right in between the buildings. That is the Golden Heinz, and Sir Francis Drake went around the world in 1577 on that ship to Las Americas. But instead, he went to Portugal and España and stole £25 million worth of treasure, hence pirates. He brought it back to the United Kingdom, or England at the time, and gave it to Queen Elizabeth I. She was obviously delighted as it paid the UK debt not once, not twice, but 3 times over, making England one of the richest places in the world. So any Portuguese or Spanish on board, obrigado y mucho gracias por el dinero. You're not getting that money back. I am so sorry. You can sleep over on that vessel if you want, but they do wake you up at 3:30 in the morning, pretending you've been taken over by pirates. You can see that it's currently being fixed, because that ship right now is getting repaired to go around the world like it did back in 1577, so it'll be gone for around 8 years. So I recommend a visit while it's there, because at the moment it has an escape room, which is quite cool. Because even Londoners get this question completely wrong, and it's very embarrassing. So in case you wonder, I'd like everyone to put their air. Do you know why? It has towers. There you go.
What?
But do not worry, loads of tourists and people that come to London keep getting it wrong. Because if you go on Google and you type down London Bridge, it shows you Tower Bridge instead. Former singer of Black Eyed Peas, he made a song for London Bridge but was twerking on Tower Bridge instead. An American bridge lover spent £2.5 million thinking he was buying the glorious Tower Bridge in front of you. But brick by brick over Lake Cathedral in Arizona, he realised he got the wrong bridge. Yes, he bought the old Victorian London Bridge. So, he must have had a shock when he realised he got the wrong one. So in Arizona right now, the Victorian London Bridge is Arizona's most visited tourist attraction. So either way, that guy did very well for himself. I don't know if you guys are going to see the next thing because it's completely camouflaged, but there is a massive warship on your right. This is the HMS Belfast, the most powerful vessel of its time. Mostly famous though for finding and destroying Hitler's favorite warship called the Heinz. Yes, this one did it. But after the war, we did not need this vessel anymore, so we had to turn it into scrap metal. But if you always in they could even beg them very with you as much money as you want if you give us this ship. So it went up for auction and it got sold for a whole £1. Yes, this whole ship in front of you costs only £1. It's now an all-access museum and it is still war ready. So if the UK decides to go to battle once again, it'll be ready in 72 hours, which means those main cannons at the front, they still work and they're currently pointed towards Croydon. Funny, it will be to Croydon. This lovely building on your right that looks like a potato. Yes, this used to be the city hall. This is where Lord Mayor used to be to make some really cool decisions for London. But at the moment, it is completely barren. Yes, because they've moved up over towards Greenwich and they have no idea what to do with this building. However, a really fun fact about this building is they paid somebody £1 million to come up with a name for a hall in the city. So for a couple of months, someone had to think, and they came back with the best name around. They came back with City Hall. Well done then. For £2, I'll call it the Armadillo. So us Londoners, we nickname our buildings. We call this the Armadillo, stack of pancakes, and my favourite, Marge Simpson's weave. Very good names, indeed. You can see in the middle of the glass panel a spiral staircase. That is where they filmed the final of The Apprentice. Fun to retrieval facts right there. But yes, we're now coming up to Tower Bridge, the world's most photographed bridge. So sorry, San Francisco, once again, our bridge is better than yours. Our bridge is newer than Brooklyn Bridge in New York. Yes, Brooklyn Bridge is older than ours, but ours looks older. There's an old superstition they believed if you got away from anyone from this bridge, the whole vessel that you were on gets 5 years good luck. So in 3, 2, 1, we're going to scream and shout and let it all out. 3, 2, 1, go! That's Sally, we pay her £20 an hour for that. Thank you very much, love. Perfect. True superstition, this will be the last bridge that soldiers saw before going into battle. So all their mummies, all their daddies, all the loved ones, all the side chicks will be there saying bye-bye, bye-bye. If you kiss your loved one underneath this bridge, you and your loved one gets a lifetime of happiness. If your loved one is not here, your wife or husband will do instead. We've just entered the old docks of London. It looks very empty here in front of you, but back in the day, nearly 19,000 vessels docked here in front of you because of these buildings on your right. Wharf means warehouse at riverfront, so we stored everything here. These became barren because we did not need them anymore, and there's one guy who swooped in and bought these buildings with no money. They're now the most luxurious apartments in London around, with a 6-year waiting list just to view them. Wow. Do recommend getting your cameras out for the photo opportunity, which is a selfie with me. Jokes. With the only vessel that time is taken with the best view of Tower Bridge, we look at the skyscrapers old and new. But as we do turn around, please remain seated as it can be rocky, just for your safety. We will be going back quicker with the current of the Thames, so we'll be speaking 500 miles per hour, so keep listening, keep listening. So, fun fact about this bridge, opened in 1894, so it's actually fairly new, it's not that old. When it did open, it was actually painted chocolate brown because Queen Victoria loved chocolate. The towers that you can see were not part of the original plan. They put the towers there to make the bridge look older than it actually is. And it was easier for pedestrians to cross the bridge as well, as this bridge is bastille, which means seesaw in French, opens and closes. Used to open nearly 60 times a day, now it only opens 15 times a year, and every time it does, it seems to get stuck. But don't worry, that's quite a frequent thing, because the first day they ever opened in front of Queen Victoria, it got stuck for around 8 hours. So don't worry, it's quite frequent. The footpaths at the top had to close in 1910 because really naughty things happened up there, like murder and naughty ladies of the night. Reopened in 1980 as a very basic museum, and it's now home to the Tower Bridge experience where you can see glass floor, which is quite exciting. The stonework that you can see on the bridge itself is actually there for one layer. If you take that stonework away, it's actually still a line, like this part of the bridge we're about to go under. It's all the same material. They put the stone there because they wanted the bridge to look older, like I was saying, but most important, to match the Tower of London on your right. Tower of London is the world's most important and most impressive prison. The oldest part is the bloody tower, nearly 1,000 years, but you can't see it because the bloody trees. But this has been everything you can ever imagine. It's been an armory, an artillery, a zoo for 200 years. Yes, this was a zoo. It was the first place in the UK to ever see an elephant and a polar bear. But we had no idea how to look after mammals. So what they thought you had to do was feed the mammals a gallon of red wine each and every day. It lived a very short but drunken life indeed. On the wall of the Thames it says entry to Traitors' Gate, so like I said, back at the House of Parliament, you got picked up at the world's smallest prison and taken through there the world's first one-way street. Because once you're going inside there, you're never coming out alive again. Only 7 people were executed in the tower because if you were rich, you had a private execution. If you were poor like me, you had a public one outside the tower, but mostly done in Tower Hill. An execution back in the day was considered a family day out, so families would gather from around the country to London to see an execution. They had ticketing services, VIP seats, and a gift shop. And in the gift shop, you were able to buy fingers and toes of the person being executed. And if you were a lady or a child, you were able to walk up to the person being executed, dunk your hanky into the blood, and take it home like a momentum. How things change. Now we go for a cheeky Nando's instead. Tower of London is now home to the Crown Jewels, and it's a very, very cool museum. I do recommend a visit if you can. But if you look on your left, you will see the tallest building in the United Kingdom, second largest in Western Europe. The full name of this building is the Shard of Glass. It's meant to look like pieces of glass are stuck together. Hence why the top bit looks like it's not completed, but it is. But the nickname for this lovely building is called the Sad, Lonely Building, because inside there is actually very, very empty. It has one hotel with a Shangri-La, 2 bars, a few offices, and a few luxury apartments. If you like to live up the Shard, go for it, because you can take your friends up the Shard, but it's £45.5 million. And once again, you can't open a window. What is it with London and windows? Who knows? They are really fussy about who can actually buy an apartment. Latest person who got rejected was Kanye West. Yes, Kanye West was not allowed to buy an apartment up the Shard because he was too much of a party animal. But yes, we're about to go underneath London Bridge. If you did not believe me, look at the columns on either side. It's literally written on there because people kept getting it wrong and it was very annoying. We actually do not know how many London bridges we have had, but there's been a bridge here for 2,000 years since the Roman era. For around 500 years, the Romans used to build the bridge out of wood, but because the Thames is very powerful, it kept falling down. Hence, London Bridge is falling down. And so one person was like, I'm going to make the first one out of stone, which he did, and it lasted 1,000 years. And it was the famous one that had the 16 arches and the 7-storey buildings on top, but mostly famous for the heads on spikes. Then in Victorian times, they came along and said, oh, we can make a better one, which they did, which lasted until the 1960s. And they had to change it because that bridge was sinking. And then they made this one, the London Bridge. But rumour has it that they had plans for a brand new London Bridge. Next bridge about to go underneath is called Canterbury Railway Station Bridge. It's London's most ugliest bridge. That's it. Nothing else to say. It's made by TfL London. Fabulous. So really awkwardly going to go underneath this, so just ignore it as a blip in the Matrix. However, the next bridge we've got to is London's most pretty bridge. Yes, it's the bridge opened in 1921 in the Art Deco style. And it's the only bridge on the Thames that is still lit. But you can see, not many people cross this bridge or cars. Well, the only reason why there are cars crossing is because major works are happening on either side. This bridge is not necessary at one point, so I had to knock it down because it wasn't necessary whatsoever. So those people that are crossing the bridge are clearly lost and Google Maps is not helping them. Do not wait for them, they might jump on our ship instead. Pure London, the water as I am, I've never set foot on this bridge, I have no idea where it is. It's like it disappears once you go around. Look to your left, you see a lovely brick building with a humongous chimney. Yes, this is Tate's Mordon Art Gallery. This used to be a power station for London, but decommissioned in the 1980s because it was polluting London's air with smog. This was the brother to Battersea Power Station. In the early 2000s, so like, we've got this huge building, we can't get rid of it, what should we do? So they turned it into an art gallery. It is a free art gallery today, and it holds very important famous pieces from the 1900s. So I do recommend a visit in there if you can. If you don't like art, don't worry, the lovely glass bit at the top is called the Terrace, and it's London's best cocktail bar. Go up there, have a few shots, come back down, the art will come to life in front of your face. Recommend highly. Underneath now is called the Blade of Lights, but the nickname that stayed with the bridge is the Whipplemead Bridge. And when it opened in 2000, they had to close it 4 hours later. So when you were standing in the middle, you were swinging side to side 7 to 8 inches. So people were racing finally sick. It cost more to fix the bridge than it did to build, because he had to ask NASA to help us fix it. And the architect, Norman Foster, came to London to defend his bridge, but he was offended that we were saying that his bridge was absolutely caca. And he said that there was nothing wrong with his bridge. It's the way you Londoners walk, you guys are always marching everywhere. Offended. But that bridge is what beat the London Eye in that story I was saying about back at the beginning. There we go. Going underneath 2.5 Blackfriars bridges, so yes, obviously the columns in the middle used to be its own bridge called the St Paul's Bridge, famous for bringing the first steam train from Dover to London. But as trains got more advanced with diesel, trains became very, very heavy, so every time a train went over that bridge, it used to crack and crumble. Men at the time were very, very smart species because they went, hey, we're going to build a brand new bridge on either side first. They were very, very expensive, but they did not realise how well the middle bridge was made. They managed to take up the top bit, but did not realise, like I said, how big it was. They were like, uh-oh, we need to use dynamite to destroy the brand new bridges. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave it there, and everybody will notice the columns. Yes, we talk about 8 times a day, but definitely noticed. Well done. Lord God, we're currently updating our Victorian student system. Back in the 1850s, London was hit the big stinky winky, because us Londoners, we thought it was the best idea to throw our poopy and our graphite, but because of wear and tear, it's now grey. The hieroglyphics that you can see on the stone are talking about the various amounts of different Egyptian gods, but talking about one pharaoh called Tutmosis II. The sphinxes on either side though, us Brits put those there, we put them the one way around. We don't do any research, so well done us. It's meant to be facing the outside to protect the needle from the world, but right now they're just having a chit chat. But they recently found a brand new mummy in Egypt, which they're about to bring over to the British Museum. Excited, but when they opened the tomb, they found out the mummy was always covered in chocolate and nuts. Yes, we are as confused as you are. Quite exciting to see that. But apparently his name was, oh I forgot. It's Pharaoh Rocher. That was a good one. That was a good one. Last time, so when people on the bridges, make sure you get out of the system top deck because there was no more opportunity for names. But ladies and gentlemen, from this point on, everybody must remain seated. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, from this point on, everybody must remain seated as we do our docking procedure for your safety. If you look on your right, you see a lovely building here with green roofs and all these flagpoles. This is the Ministry of Defence. Inspiration to J.K. Rowling's Ministry of Magic. But it's also known as the Iceberg Building because you can only see a little bit as it goes 17 floors underground with a nuclear bunker right at the bottom, with tunnels that connect the House of Parliament, 10 Downing Street and Buckingham Palace. So at least if there's any nuclear fallout, all our politicians will be safe. Yay! But the London Eye had to battle with the MOD. The MOD did not want us to be built whatsoever. They thought espionage, spies would go onto the pods of large cameras, look through the windows and see top secret documentation. They took us to the highest courts possible and the government laughed in their face. They said, but you guys are the Ministry of Defence. Just buy some curtains and you'll be fine. Defend yourself. And we won the battle, waste our time and London Eye on your left is famous for doing so. You come into the pods, you say your vowels as you go round, and at the top, with a 360 view of London, you say, I do. But don't forget, it's all downhill from the other side. But I hope you guys enjoyed your tour. Until then, just remain seated until I say it's safe. If you enjoyed your tour, please write a...